Algebra 2 Worksheet 21.2, I'm going to look at 10, 13, and 16 all in one shot, because these are all similar problems from this section. You have one of them is addition, one subtraction, one's multiplication, all using our imaginary numbers. You have those i's in there. Now, number 10 is the easiest one because it is addition. Because of that plus sign, all we're doing is combining like terms, essentially. This is really what's happening is you have a plus 1 here, a positive 1 that's distributing through both. So this 2 plus I will stay the same. Plus, this plus means nothing is going to change, just 2 minus I. So now all it is just combining like terms. These two, the real numbers, will combine. 2 plus 2 gives us 4. I'm going to write it here so I have more room. And then these i's will combine. Positive I plus negative I is 0i, which means there's no i's in your answer, which means your final answer on number 10 is just plain old 4 by itself, plain old real number 4. Now number 13, now we're going from addition to subtraction. And then one big difference here is that now it's like you have a negative 1 in front of the second set of parentheses. This still doesn't change, so we'll still have 11 minus 6i. Now you have negative 1 that's going to distribute through both of those. So it is kind of like how we had positive 1. It's just that the positive 1 in number 10 didn't change anything. But now we've got to change these signs. You have negative 1 times negative 3 is positive 3. Negative 1 times negative 2i is positive 2i. Now again, we're combining like terms. 11 and 3 will combine. The two real numbers will combine to give us positive 14. Now our i's will combine. We're adding, so we don't have to change any exponents. Negative 6 plus positive 2 is negative 4. It's not I squared. We're just adding, so it stays as plain old I, which means in number 13, our final answer is 14 minus 4i. Now number 16, definitely the most complicated. We now have multiplication. Since there's no plus or minus in between, now it's like foiling or using your box, depending on what method you used. If you're foiling, you can just do 10, distributing both. 10 times 10 is 100. 10 times negative 3i is negative 30i. And then multiply through by your 3i. 3i times 10 is 30i. That's positive. Then 3i times negative 3i is negative 9i squared. Now you have the square because you have I times I. Now in the middle, you're going to combine these i's because they're like terms. And negative 30 plus 30 is just going to cancel each other out. So you're left with this 100 minus 9i squared. But now remember that I squared, anytime you have I squared, you're just going to substitute in negative 1 for I squared, which means this I squared becomes negative 1. The negative 9 and negative 1, those negatives will cancel. So it becomes 10 plus 9 times 1, which is 10 plus 9, which is 19. And that's what makes 16 a little bit more difficult.